I just wanted to make a quick little top 10 video. I probably could do this again 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, and the list would maybe change. There's two games I don't have in my collection that may possibly would change my list. Definitely one. Conker's Bad Fur Day I don't have. I would probably put that in my top 10 list. I've played that several different times, but I don't own it. And Banjo-Tooie I do not own, but I don't know if I would put that on my top 10 list or not. But anyway, games that did not make. These are honorable mention games. Let me see if I can go through these pretty quick. Perfect Dark, not making my top 10 list. Rogue Squadron, not quite making my top 10 list. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey was a game I've spent so many hours playing. It is a fun game, but not on my top 10 list. Mario Tennis, this one's in bad shape, this is my only copy, is another really great game, not making my top 10 list. And a game that people praise so much. A game that I did spend a lot of hours playing, and especially playing around with the cheats, but will not be on my top 10 list, is GoldenEye. Alright, so I do have these in order, top 10. I'll start with number 10. This was the first game that I owned when I got a Nintendo 64. It was basically my brother and my Nintendo 64. He's older than me, but I'm the one that kept all this stuff. Is Star Fox 64. This is my number 10 game, and this is my number 9 game, Resident Evil 2. Really fun. Definitely, if you are used to the newer Resident Evils and you just wish that something was different about them, go back and play the earlier Resident Evils. This one, actually, it's aged pretty well, and it's not that terrible. I mean, the puzzles are good, and it's just a well-made game. So this is my number 9 game for Nintendo 64 list. Spent a lot of time with this. This is probably one of the last games on the console's life cycle that I bought brand new. I think this was the last one. It was Donkey Kong 64. This is my number 8 game, and if there's one word to describe this game, it is collect. There is so much stuff you collect in this game. I can't remember if this was one of the games that kept like percentages as far as how far you were, but I know I made pretty far in this game. I just didn't stick with the collectathon that was this game. Yes, number 7, Banjo-Kazooie. This is a game that I did not own growing up. It's a game that I missed out on. Nintendo 64 had such great platformers. This is one of them. I got this maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I actually got it really cheap. But it is a very good game. Played maybe just a few of the worlds. Reminds me very similar to Donkey Kong, and it's even got a lot of the similar sounds. Number 6 game. This brings back a lot of nostalgia. Playing with my friends, playing 4-player split screen, is Diddy Kong Racing. This is again number 6 out of all my top 10 Nintendo 64 games that I own, and it's a really great game because it's got so many different ways that you can race through different levels. I mean, you can play one level and you can race in different ways. I mean, like, you can get in a little plane and fly around, or you can get in a car and drive on the track. Really great ideas, and it is deserving on my list. Put it at number 5. It was probably the very first 64 game, because I think it was a release game, that I ever remember seeing. So before these 3D World games that were not things I was used to watching, like Super Nintendo side-scrolling games, this was just so awesome to witness this game, driving around on tracks, and for what I felt was very lifelike at the time, was Mario Kart 64, number 5, great racing game. And some people argue about these two, and my loyalty still is with Mario Kart 64. That's why I put it a little higher. Next, this is a game that I did not grow up with. I remember I rented it, and I just had such a hard time playing it because at the time the internet was not really the most helpful when you're trying to get some advice on how to play these games. So, I mean, I was struggling playing this game, and I only had like a week to play it. Didn't buy it, but I have since purchased it in my collection. It is Majora's Mask. I have it in my protective case. This is the one. This is a holographic version. I have two. I have the other copy of it too. I keep this displayed so I can look at it a little bit easier. So I have two copies of it. But it is a great game. Majora's Mask is number 4 on my list. Number 3. Some people put this as a number 1 game. I would put this at my number 3. And it's Smash Brothers. This is my original game. This is like the second to last game I remember buying for the GameCube. So paying like, or not GameCube, Nintendo 64. So like paying $50 and being an idiot and throwing away the box. But this is the original game that I bought when I was a young kid. I think in high school was when I got this. And so I mean, it's number 3 on my list, and I'm proud to have it. Number 2, I like this because of what I just said. It's a very deep game. It's challenging. The camera can be pretty aggravating, but it is deserving of the number 2 on my list. It's Super Mario 64. I just really enjoy this game. It's every time I like go into a world, it's like I don't really need to really remember how to do it, just because it's like kind of like riding a bike. You just kind of remember everything about it. And I can't really say that too much with like Super Mario World and Mario 3 and Mario on the NES, just because I had never really spent as much time as I did with this. So playing Mario 64 in between classes, it just brings back a lot of good memories. Anyway, my number 1, man, this is probably, if I had to compare all the games in my collection, this is still number 1. It holds a deep spot in my video game past. It is Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is the booklet is in the front. The game's in there. It's the gold version. I have the other one too. But number 1 on my list. It's number 1 on most people's lists. If you've never played it, put down your Call of Duty and go play it. For God's sakes. I mean, these Zelda games, I think this was the first one that I ever played. I didn't play Link to the Past. I know a lot of people argue that Link to the Past is better. I have played Link to the Past. Ocarina of Time, I mean, it's just such a game that has so much personality, so much depth, so much character. I mean, it's just such a unique story. The ending is great. I mean, it's got great levels, good mixture of gameplay. It's challenging, and I mean, if I was playing the Master Quest version, it is a difficult game, especially when you get to the later parts of the game. It's not easy. I remember the one part that drives me crazy is when you're out in the desert and you're in that like prison, the Gerudo prison or whatever, and those guards are, that's a difficult part of the game. I remember even in Majora's Mask, that those pirate women or whatever, they're very similar. That was difficult too. But yeah, this is my number 1 game, and tell me what you think. Tell me what are your favorite Nintendo 64 games. Most of the games I have on my top 10 list are stereotypical top 10 games usually. But let me know what you think, and please feel free to comment, argue, or say that one of my games is not very good. So yeah, tell me what you think later. It's a kitty!